anymore. This is a good chance to escape. Sorry, host, I don't want to be destroyed by the central system. Then it started to fly away. The chicken blood system saw this and shouted, "Crap, it's about to run." The red system opened a rift, turned its head back, and said contemptuously, "You want to catch me?" Too late. The spendthrift system gave a cold glance, then issued a command. Time, stop. Not long after, it had fallen into the spendthrift system's hands. It asked in terror, "How did you do that? How am I in your hands?" The roll call system was also astonished. "How did you do that? With just one look, it was in your hands?" She laughed and said, "That's a secret." The spendthrift system held it, preparing to tear in half, saying, "Weren't you so good at running? You even dared to abandon your host." It threatened in terror, "You can't kill me. I'll request arbitration from the Grand System Arbitration Court." She provoked, "Arbitrate my ass." With a rip, the red system turned to dust. The roll call system and the chicken blood system watched, stunned. The spendthrift system took something out and said to the roll call system, "This is for you." It was surprised. "A chip? You're being so nice to me?" She replied, "Getting its data will help you and your host pay off your debt later." The roll call system pleaded, "Don't mention paying off debt anymore." Witnessing everything that had just happened, Yifan recalled all sorts of things from his past life and said, "Systems really can't be trusted. Even a secret host will be betrayed at a critical moment." The spendthrift system created a spatial gate, dragging the mysterious man's body with her, and said, "I'll take this transmigrator back first. If there are any problems, you can tell me." The roll call system happily replied, "Got it, Mom." Before leaving, she poked her head out and angrily demanded, "Don't call me Mom." A few minutes later, Yifan walked over to the unconscious Renhai and woke him up. "Get up, the floor is cold. You'll catch a cold." Renhai woke up and asked in terror, "Where's that powerful guy? Where did he go?" Yifan replied calmly, "It's been taken care of. He won't be back." He asked in astonishment, "Who did it? Who is it? Could it be that the Ziyun sect has other powerful experts?" At the same time, somewhere else, a giant creature had awakened. The disciples in the sect began to gossip. "Hey, have you guys heard? The Myriad Beast sect has been shortchanging us on the demon beast meat, delivering 10 caddies of meat that's actually only 4 or 5. Now the meat in the warehouse is more than half gone. How can that be? Could it be that the Great Elder doesn't know?" The kitchen staff must have an excuse to cover it up. They continued talking and started to panic. "That's all nonsense. Last night, when I went to the latrine, I saw with my own eyes a monster several dozen meters tall at the sect gate. Are you making things up? If it's true, I'll chop my head off for you. A monster that big sneaking into the sect to steal meat to eat. Isn't that a joke?" A week later, at Immortal Jade Peak, Yifan asked Ziyun in surprise, "You mean the demon beast meat reserves are depleted?" She confirmed, "That's right. Ever since the demon beast meat reserves started dwindling, the disciples have been complaining every day, saying they're unhappy without meat to eat, that no meat is as good as being dead." Renhai walked in and said, "Little friend, I've investigated, and absolutely no outsiders have entered or left the sect these past few days. The demon beast meat disappearing on its own is most likely a plot by the Myriad Beast sect. Because Ziyun saw he was a stranger, she thought curiously, who is this person? Why are there always these people from who knows where around my darling disciple?" Hearing this, Yifan said, "If there isn't enough demon beast meat, then the barbecue will have to be postponed for a few days." Ziyun continued to raise the issue. Moreover, today is the Myriad Beast Sect's delivery day. Junsu and Nini suddenly appeared. Junsu said, "Fellow Taoist Yi, I've come again." Nini said, "Senior, long time no see." Ziyun angrily yelled at Junsu, "Sect Master Jun, are you in such a hurry? Why did you come to the Ziyun sect without giving me any notice? Did you come to deliver the goods yourselves? Could it be that you have no one left to work under you?" Junsu laughed and replied, "Fellow Taoist, don't joke. I am a sect master. After all, of course I came to visit on business." Nini took out a small pouch and said, "Senior, I have something I want to give you." Yifan asked her, "What is this?" Nini replied, "This is a protective amulet I made myself." Seeing this, Ziyun couldn't stand it. "You wretched girl, still using this clumsy gift-giving trick." Ziyun continued, speaking to Jinsu. "Sect Master Jun, what is it exactly? If you just brought your disciple here to give an amulet, then please leave." Junsu replied, "I won't hide it from you. This matter is related to the Great Liang Kingdom. My disciple, Nini, was originally supposed to marry the 7th prince of Great Liang, but this girl broke off the engagement." After hearing this, Ziyun said, "If that's all, it's easy to handle. Although the Great Liang Kingdom supports many cultivators, it is still fundamentally a mortal dynasty and wouldn't dare to touch our sect. It was later discovered that a former emperor of Great Liang had embarked on the path of cultivation, completed his tribulation, and even ascended to immortality, and has recently returned to the eastern wasteland. Hearing this, Renhai chuckled to himself. Yifan couldn't help but be curious. Old brother, what are you laughing at? Renhai laughed, because he was that very ancestor of the Great Liang Kingdom who had overcome the heavenly tribulation, the cultivating emperor who had just returned to the eastern wasteland. Zhen Su said nonchalantly, if he comes to our Myriad Beast sect one day to hold us accountable, it will be big trouble. Hearing this, Ziyun angrily replied, isn't this something your own disciple brought upon herself? What are you doing at our Ziyun sect? Suddenly, Zhen Su pointed at Yifan and said, of course, we came to ask for fellow Taoist Ye's help. Hearing these words, Yifan was bewildered. Huh? What can I help with? She said, fellow Taoist Ye's strength can be said to be the #1 in the lower realm. As long as fellow Taoist Yi accompanies me to Great Liang, I believe everything will be resolved smoothly. Yifan replied sullenly, but I don't want to go out. Nini ran to his side and pleaded, Senior, could you bear to see me forced to marry a man in his 40s or 50s? Hearing this, Ziyun thought to herself, just 40s or 50s, isn't that still very young? Zhen Su whispered to Ziyun, just let fellow Taoist Yi go. If anything happens to Nini, fellow Taoist Yi might develop an inner demon tribulation. Renhai then advised, little friend, I'm quite familiar with Great Liang. That place is truly wonderful, with many prosperous sites, cultural wonders, and no shortage of delicacies. A trip to Great Liang isn't a bad idea. Yifan thought it made sense and said, it's true, I haven't been out to have fun in a long time. Hearing this, Zhen Su said happily, fellow Taoist Yi, then it settled. But Ziyun was furious. Damn it, trying to use an inner demon tribulation to lure my darling disciple away. But she couldn't refuse. There are too many miscellaneous tasks in the sect. I can't help much by going to Great Liang. What should I do? Zi Bing suddenly walked in. The people from Myriad Beast sect are here too? Ziyun pulled her aside and said, first disciple, you've come at the right time. Accompany your junior brother on a trip to Great Liang. Then she recounted the whole story to Zibing. After finishing, Ziyun asked, first disciple, do you still remember what I expect of you? Zibing replied, Master, I guarantee I will not disappoint you. Ziyun said to Yifan, darling disciple, if you can't stay in Great Liang, remember to come back early. He replied, I know, Master. The flying ship began its journey. Yifan stood at the bow of the ship, looking down below with a gloomy face. I want to go back to the Ziyun sect. The 3 young women on the ship, Nini, Zibing, and Zhen Su, gathered around, looking at Yifan with concern. Zibing asked caringly, little junior brother, why do you look so pale? You haven't been poisoned, have you? Zhen Su asked, is fellow Taoist Yi not feeling well? Nini asked, Senior, is there anything I can do to help you? But in reality, he was upset because he was being bothered by the roll call system and the chicken blood system. The roll call system said, Host, you're at a high altitude. This is a high altitude reaction that only ordinary people get. The chicken blood system took out a vial of medicine and said, Host, I've already lessened the burden on your body. Do you want to use the system's special medicine? Yifan cursed. Get lost. Your stuff, I don't need any of it. The chicken blood system was used to this and said, the host is really stubborn. The roll call system also chimed in. The host is the same as always. Suddenly, a fierce wind blew. Nini cried out in alarm. A demonic wind. Yifan also said, it's a storm. Zi Bing shouted, little junior brother, this isn't a storm. I can feel that this is pressure from the upper realm. He looked up at the sky and said, this scene looks a bit familiar. Could it be that another celestial from the upper realm is descending? The roll call system replied, Host, that's right. Up there is a heavenly celestial. A beautiful woman appeared in the sky, gently floating down. Seeing her, Yifan was so shocked his eyeballs were about to fall out. Why is it her? The other young women couldn't stop praising. It's a celestial. I can't believe it's a real celestial. The moment that woman saw Yifan, She smiled like a blossoming flower and immediately looked like she wanted to throw herself into his arms. "Senior, please help me." This left the other young women utterly shocked. Zibing shouted, "Little junior brother." Junsu was equally stunned. "Fellow Taoist Yi." Nini's jaw dropped in astonishment. "You even know a celestial?" Yifan thought to himself, "I'm just a mortal. Why does everyone want my help?" The system seemed to read his mind and said, "Host, you still have us." Several heavenly generals descended, and upon seeing her, they shouted, "Found her! She's over there!" The roll call system asked, "Why do their faces look exactly the same?" The chicken blood system said, "Aren't they the heavenly generals who were defeated by the system's clone before?" Yifan said, "Isn't there another possibility that they're triplets?" Huang Ru hugged Yifan tightly and pleaded, "Senior, save me." He thought to himself, "Don't your knees hurt?" She hugged Yifan and begged, "Senior, please help me one more time. I'm willing to be your beast of burden in this life." Nini was startled to hear this. A beast of burden? My older sisters once taught me, isn't that the same as repaying with one's body? Seeing Huang Ru act like this, Yifan had no choice but to agree. "All right, I know. Stop pulling on my pants." The heavenly general loudly listed her crimes. "Huang Ru, you have repeatedly fled to the lower realm without permission, a heinous crime. You colluded with the lower realm, a crime worthy of 10,000 deaths. You murdered a heavenly general, which is even more unforgivable. This time, we will definitely make you wish you were dead." Huang Ru immediately defended herself. "I really didn't kill the heavenly general. I don't know anything." The chicken blood system also said, "It wasn't me either. I left him with his life back then." The heavenly generals drew their blades and shouted, "Huang Ru deserves to be slain." A beam of light shot straight at the flying ship. Nini and Zibing pulled Yifan, saying, "Little junior brother, that's heavenly lightning. Let's get out of the way. We'll die if we just stand here." Huang Ru pulled him back and pleaded, "Senior, don't go. You can definitely defeat them." A loud bang was heard, and two heavenly generals were turned to dust. It turned out that the chicken blood system had pulled out a rocket launcher and blasted the two of them to bits. It said proudly, "Look, host, I've taken care of it." The roll call system said, "Are you really the chicken blood system?" You said a 5 times enhancement, but the result was a power boost, and it even came with fist techniques and a rocket launcher. Nini, Zibing, and Huang Ru were all dumbfounded. Zibing said in shock, It's taken care of?" Huang Ru said, "Senior, I never expected you to be so formidable." Yifan said, "This has nothing to do with me." Nini looked around and asked, "That's right, where's my master?" Zibing replied, "It seems like she ran away." Yifan asked Huang Ru, "Speaking of which, didn't you already escape at the beginning? Why did you come back to the lower realm?" Huang Ru replied, "Because the number of heavenly generals in the upper realm has increased far too much, and my current strength has also declined. So returning to the upper realm would be like seeking death. While being pursued by the heavenly generals, in my desperation, I made a bold decision." Hearing this, Zibing asked, "Your strength has declined?" Nini went around shouting, "Master!" Huang Ru began to explain, "I split my soul and celestial power into 7 parts, hid them in magical artifacts, and then scattered them everywhere, so that one day, if my body is destroyed, I can be reborn just like the grandpa in the ring." Huang Ru continued, "I don't know if it was good luck or bad. The heavenly general's first attack didn't kill me. I fell into a lake, and after several 100,000 years, my strength is only 1/10 of what it used to be." Hearing this, Yifan was confused. "Why do I feel like your situation is more like Voldemort and his Horcruxes? Or more accurately, like the 7 Dragon Balls?" Suddenly, he pulled something out from his pants. "All right." Huang Ru thought Yifan was about to do something indecent and shouted, "Senior, are you going to undress here? There are so many people here, it's not very appropriate." He took out a hairpin and asked, "What are you talking about? This hairpin is yours, right?" Huang Ru happily took it and said gratefully, "My hairpin is in your hands too?" "Senior, how did you know?" Yifan replied, "They're all in the style of ancient coins. It's not hard to guess it's yours." After that, she gathered the power from the hairpin. "This is great. My soul and celestial power haven't been damaged much." Nini said curiously, "The celestial sister has gotten stronger again." Huang Ru replied happily, "You flatter me. Wait until I get a few more of my magical artifacts back. Then I'll truly be a heavenly celestial. Yi Fan asked Huang Ru, speaking of which, what crime did you commit in the upper realm? Why did you have to risk your life to come to the lower realm? She replied sadly, it's a long story. It's all because of our celestial emperor. According to Huang Ru's story, their celestial emperor used to be a very benevolent person, rarely interfering in the affairs of the celestial sections. He only put forward one concept to maintain the balance of resources in the upper realm: have fewer children, live a carefree life. However, for some unknown reason, the celestial emperor's personality suddenly changed. He began to frantically organize an army to attack the demon race. This war lasted for hundreds of years, and the younger generation of celestials in the upper realm was almost wiped out. As a result, the population of the upper realm became extremely sparse. The celestial emperor demanded that all celestials marry quickly, or they would be forcibly matched. She sat down helplessly and said bitterly, I've been in the upper realm for tens of thousands of years and have never liked anyone. If I'm matched by the celestial emperor, I don't know who I'll be married off to. After thinking it over, the only way to survive was to escape to the lower realm. Nini took Huang Ru's hand and said, Celestial sister, I understand how you feel all too well. I also don't want to be married off to a stranger for no reason. Huang Ru asked in surprise, Little friend, you too? Yi Fan asked curiously, Then what happens if you get married but don't have children? Huang Ru jumped up and shouted, startling him. The consequences are even more severe. He will summon a group of heavenly generals to surround you, trying every means to get you pregnant. At this moment, Zhan Su was hiding in the back, eavesdropping. She suddenly jumped out and covered Huang Ru's mouth, saying, Celestial, it's best not to talk about this. My disciple is still just a boy. Seeing her, Nini asked, Master, you've climbed up? Hearing this, Yi Fan said, This celestial emperor sounds like he's been possessed by a transmigrator. The army of heavenly generals all look the same. Aren't they just like clones? Renhai said to him, Little friend, fellow Taoists, we're about to arrive at Great Liang. Looking down, everyone was amazed by the magnificent sight of the capital city below. After entering the city, Nini exclaimed, What a prosperous nation. So this is what the Great Liang Kingdom is like. Renhai pointed in a direction and said, Little friend, I have to go first. You can have fun here. Yi Fan asked, Where are you going? He thought to himself, I'm going to prepare a gift for my little friend. I hope my little friend will like it. Yi Fan walked up to his steamed bun stall and asked, Boss, how much are these buns? The stall owner, who was dozing off, answered drowsily, 600 spirit stones each. Zibing was shocked when she heard the price. That expensive? Besides, where would mortals get spirit stones to buy them? Huang Ru asked, Isn't 600 spirit stones very cheap? The stall owner opened his eyes, was shocked to see Yi Fan, and ran into his shop in fear. Holy crap. All the buns are yours. Goodbye. Zhan Su ran over and grabbed him by the collar. Looking at you like this, it seems you've caused trouble for little friend you before, right? Then I can't let you go. He pleaded, Great Elder, I was wrong. I won't do it again. Zibing pulled Jin Su back and said, Fellow Taoist Jun, don't hold him down like that. Let's just ask what happened first. Yi Fan watched the show while munching on a bun. The stall owner explained, sweating profusely, because the seventh prince was touched by a celestial, it means he is favored by the celestial, and he will surely be ranked among the celestials in the future. Moreover, someone revealed that this celestial might be the celestial emperor of Great Liang, and he returned to the lower realm to bless his descendants. Yi Fan asked Huang Ru, Is that a thing? She replied, It might be, but I've only ever petted cats and dogs, and they haven't necessarily become celestials. The stall owner said, To attract the celestials' attention, a large number of cultivators have flocked to Great Liang. Now, the capital is mostly filled with these cultivators. Zibing said to the stall owner, Then your buns can't be sold for that expensive. The stall owner explained, I also think it's too expensive, but this is an order from the emperor of Great Liang. I don't know which goddamn sect, which goddamn female cultivator was clearly about to marry the seventh prince. But in the end, that female cultivator broke off the engagement and ran away. After that, the seventh prince went crazy, so the emperor of Great Liang imposed attacks on all cultivators. Hearing this, Nini and Zhan Su were already seething with anger. A goddamn sect, right? Yifan asked him, since there's a tax, why do you still have to raise the price? The stall owner explained, because a powerful expert at the aperture exiting realm cured the seventh prince's illness and became his eunuch. He suggested raising prices to fill the national treasury, but everyone knows the money clearly went into his own pocket. It's all because of that female cultivator. Without her, there wouldn't be so much trouble. Nini and Jun Su glared at the stall owner, making him feel suspicious. Strange, why is my back so cold all of a sudden? Seeing the look on their faces, everyone found it strange. Jun Su said, forget it. Since this matter was caused by my myriad beast sect anyway, I will pay a visit to the Emperor of Great Liang in my capacity as sect master. Fellow Taoist Yi, I invite you to enter the palace with me tomorrow. Nini said, Senior, only you can help me meet the Emperor. Yifan said, I don't think I can be of much help, but if I go to the palace, I'll probably be able to learn many of the imperial court's delicious dishes. Nini asked again, so you agree? That stall owner suddenly interjected, can I come along? Jun Su angrily forced him to his knees. No, kneel for me, you damn brat. The stall owner had no choice but to reluctantly endure it. Fine. Then they entered the palace. Countless paintings were hanging inside. Yifan thought to himself, with so many beautiful paintings and such a strong floral scent, could this seventh prince be a narcissist? Zibing picked up a painting and wondered, but why are all these paintings covering their faces and wearing hats? Nini asked, Master, where did the Celestial go? Jun Su replied, she went to the flying ship to rest. A palace attendant announced, the Emperor of Great Liang and the seventh prince have arrived. Looking at the man with the covered face in front, Nini thought shyly, is he the seventh prince? So handsome. Jun Su said respectfully, Emperor of Great Liang, seventh prince, I have come here regarding the previous matter with the myriad beast sect. Inside this spatial ring are 30,000 high-grade spirit stones. Consider it an apology gift. Moffin stepped out and instructed the seventh prince. In a moment, just do as I say. Nini said shyly, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I am willing to go to war to compensate the Liang kingdom. The seventh prince replied, Miss Situ, you don't need to blame yourself. This matter is due to my own low self-esteem. Nini said shyly, seventh prince? Yifan asked curiously, Your Highness the seventh prince, why are you still wearing a veil and a hood in your own palace? The person replied politely, This humble prince finds himself ugly and fears that my true appearance will frighten the esteemed celestials. Nini comforted him. The seventh prince is joking. Cultivators cultivate the state of mind. How could we be frightened by mere appearance? Why don't you just take it off? The person joked. If the young lady wishes to see my true face, then she must marry me. Hearing this, she was flustered. At this moment, the check-in system and the chicken blood system stood there and said angrily, Why is this person so mysterious? Let me find out for the host and everyone. Quick, lift his veil and see. The chicken blood system ran over and snatched off the seventh prince's veil. The veil flew in the wind, revealing an ugly face. That person shouted, My veil, Miss Situ. Wait for me to find my veil. Nini, however, was scared out of her wits, but he shamelessly walked over and said, Never mind, miss, you'd better fulfill your promise and marry me. Sitanini kicked the seventh prince in the face, cursing, Get lost. His head got stuck straight into the ceiling. The emperor below shouted worriedly, My royal son? Moffin bellowed, How audacious! And he ordered the soldiers to attack them. You dare to ambush a prince in Great Liang? Arrest them all for me. The soldiers charged forward to attack them. Jinsu said, Ma Fun, why are you here? And you, a member of the Sunstar sect, on what authority can you command the cultivators of the royal city? Yifan thought to himself, I thought this kid was supposed to be dead. Moffin replied, Sect Master Jun, I am now the national preceptor of Great Liang. Isn't it perfectly normal for me to command these cultivators? You came to visit the seventh prince, yet you injured him. If you don't give Great Liang an explanation today, then don't expect to leave easily. The soldiers began to cast. Nation Protecting Grand Array, activate. A barrier began to appear. Jun Su shouted, The Nation Protecting Grand Array? This is clearly your sect's six-sealed Mystic Een Array. Yifan wondered, what kind of trick are they playing? There's a dark cloud over my head. Are they planning to drench me like a drowned rat? Moffin sneered contemptuously, still talking tough. Watch me cast my spell. Zibing sensed. Our spiritual energy is sealed. Nini thought to herself, why can't I use my spiritual energy anymore? He ordered the archers. They've all turned into mortals, right? Archers, ready. A shout of stop, and all the arrows were cut down. It turned out to be Renhai. Moffin was stunned because he was drunk at the time and didn't recognize him. Who are you? Wait, you look a bit familiar. Renhai shouted loudly. I'm the 5th-generation emperor of Great Liang. You, Renhai, I order you to stop. Hearing this, Moffin was so scared he peed his pants. A feather transformation immortal? My God, Great Liang really has an immortal? Wasn't this just a lie I made up to control the cultivators around Great Liang? I never thought he actually existed. Seeing this, the other emperor shouted loudly. You say you're an ancestor. On what grounds should I believe you? Who the hell are you? That 7th prince also didn't believe it and shouted. You think we'll stop just because you say so? Renhai knew this as well and said, if you want proof, then feel the ancestors' bloodline for yourselves. Bloodline, activate. Suddenly, flames erupted around the 2 people in the distance, and their clothes were torn to shreds. They screamed, my clothes! I feel like it's melting. But the emperor and the 7th prince stood there dumbfounded, thinking incomprehensibly, why don't I feel anything? This must be a cultivator's trick. Renhai also felt it was strange. Weird. Why can only 2 people feel the bloodline? Could it be that the bloodline of the others is too diluted? Yifan said something very reasonable. Or there's another possibility. They're not your family at all? The check-in system and the chicken blood system took out a long scroll and read, according to our inspection, this group of royal family members basically has no blood relation to him. According to our calculations, that emperor was probably cuckolded 200 or 300 years ago, where the royal family's genes have mutated. Yifan expressed his sympathy. My deepest condolences. Renhai said regretfully, how can this be? My Yu family's empire has been usurped by others. Moffin shouted loudly. This man is extremely dangerous. Everyone capture him. A few subordinates immediately refused. Do you think we're stupid? He's a feather transformation immortal. Even if he's not a real immortal, we're no match for him. National Preceptor, say no more. If you got the guts, you go first. A terrifying clap of thunder, and suddenly a giant red eye appeared inside a mouth. It struck the barrier, and with just one hit, the array shattered. Moffin's subordinates panicked. Damn it, which bastard was that? Help! Someone, come help me maintain the array. Hearing this, the young ladies in Yifan's group were delighted. The array is broken? Yifan recognized it. It's Dahei. It spat out a flame, causing the previously arrogant Ma Fun to now miserably beg. Help. Secmaster Zhun, help. I swear I'll never oppose you again. Save me. Zhun Su refused. I don't know what kind of fire this is either. I can't save you. Ma Fan knelt and begged. Secmaster Zhun, I truly know my mistake. She remained unmoved. The emperor saw this and shouted, the national preceptor is dead, and so the royal relatives all knelt down miserably, calling Renhai their ancestor. Seeing this, Yifan said, Old brother, your descendants are calling for you. He said angrily, I am not your ancestor. You are not of my Yu family's bloodline at all. I have no obligation to protect you, much less to protect Great Liang. From now on, the life and death of Great Liang have nothing to do with me. Renhai led Yifan away, saying, Little friend, I'm sorry you had to witness these terrible things. Let me treat you to a meal at the Immortal's guest house. He said regretfully, I won't get to eat the imperial feast today, but that's fine. Those royal relatives were still trying to wail ancestor. Ma Fun's subordinates surrounded them, shouting, to hell with Great Liang. In the end, it's all just a scam. All you know is how to order us around. Do you really think you're better than everyone else? If your Liang kingdom has nothing to do with immortal fate, then don't blame us for being impolite. The emperor's face turned pale with fear, because he knew it was completely over this time. A person was riding a dragon in the sky. The person said, Dahei, my injuries are beyond cure. You should go on your own. Hearing this, the dragon replied, My soulmate. What are you saying? We had such a hard time defeating that fake old Taoist, and now you want me to go alone? It turned out that person was Yifan, who is now heavily injured. Yifan took out a medicinal pill and said, This world is about to be destroyed by that old man. He handed the pill to the dragon. This world-ending fire pearl. I'm returning it to you. Then Yifan jumped into the sea. It couldn't do anything in time and could only turn its head to look at him, screaming, My soulmate. The last thing it saw was the splash as Yifan jumped into the sea. The dragon anxiously dove down, wanting to pull him out. Underwater, it kept calling, Yi Fan, soulmate. The water was full of man-eating fish. Despite its efforts to search, it still couldn't find him. The dragon shouted helplessly, "Where are you?" It turned out to be a nightmare of Yi Fan's. The aroma of steamed buns woke him up. Seeing Yi Fan awake, Nini asked, "Senior, you're awake?" Yi Fan asked her, "Hello, where's your master?" Nini replied while eating a steamed bun. He said there was a civil war in Great Liang last night, and those cultivators established their own sects. As people of the righteous path, we have to collect taxes from them, but they refused. Nini asked worriedly, "Senior, are you still seasick?" Yi Fan replied, I'm fine." As soon as he finished speaking, his eyes rolled back and he vomited violently, then admitted, "All right, I'm seasick." "What's happening outside?" "Brother Yu, this ship is too dangerous." Renhai walked in and asked, "Who's steering this ship?" Yi Fan asked him, "Brother Yu, didn't you just go into secluded cultivation?" He suddenly realized, wait, if Brother Yu isn't steering the ship, then who is? It turned out the one steering the ship was Huang Ru. She was spinning the helm, saying excitedly, "Steering a ship is so much fun. Looks like I hit something again. It should be fine, right?" Zi Bing comforted her. "It's probably just a slightly larger bird. Just keep going." Huang Ru asked, "Fellow Taoist Zi, where are we going next?" Zi Bing picked up the compass to look, then said in confusion, "I don't understand this at all. Why does it keep spinning in circles?" She thought for a moment and said, "Let's just use our master's teachings. Jiming above, Lingguang below, Jianbing to the left, Mengzhang to the right. One dare to say it, the other dare to believe it." Huang Ru asked, "Wait, where are we?" Although she knew nothing, Zi Bing answered confidently, "It's northeast." Huang Ru still believed her, saying, "All right then." The door behind them opened, and Nini and Renhai walked in. Nini shouted at them, "Seniors, stop steering and come look outside." Renhai added, "There are a lot of enemies surrounding us outside." Hearing this, Huang Ru and Zi Bing were both shocked. The sky outside had turned blood red, with 3 moons hanging in it, and countless dark creatures were flying in the sky. Yi Fan asked them, "Senior sisters, where did you two drive to? Is this still the eastern wasteland?" Zi Bing said embarrassedly, "I'm so sorry. I just went to the wrong place." Huang Ru asked the creatures above, "Excuse me, fellow Taoists, what do you mean by blocking this flying ship?" They replied in an incomprehensible language. Zi Bing translated. He said our flying ship was flying too fast and crashed into the wormhole they just opened. The creature then said another string of words that no one understood. But Zi Bing continued to translate. He said our flying ship crashed straight into their vanguard, right into the center of their formation. As a result, their plan to sneak attack the northern domain has to be postponed for a few days. Then the two of them started arguing. Zi Bing not only mimicked the voice, but even her expression was a perfect imitation. The other party said angrily, "Righteous Path Cultivator, I've had enough of you." Zi Bing also mimicked it, saying, "You just need to translate. Don't mimic our voices." Seeing her like this, Yi Fan asked curiously, "Eldest senior sister, how do you understand their words?" She replied happily, "Back when I was cultivating, I got lost in the northern domain and communicated with these outer domain demons every day, so I can hear them very clearly. Because their individual strength is very weak, I stayed there. I cultivated from the golden core all the way to the aperture exiting stage." Hearing this, Yi Fan said, "Fighting every day and still having time to cultivate. Senior sister is truly skilled in both literary and martial arts." Zi Bing casually replied, "Not at all, not at all. How can I compare to a monstrous junior brother like you?" She didn't notice that those dark creatures were rushing towards them. Huang Ru warned, "Be careful, they're making a move." A giant golden fish appeared. It was the carp carrying the cauldron technique that Huang Ru used her hairpin to cast. When it attacked the creature, it was scattered, but it quickly reassembled, returning to its original state. Everyone on the ship was shocked. How are they unkillable? Huang Ru was puzzled. "They can actually block my attack?" Zi Bing advised, "It's useless. If the attack is too scattered, no matter how strong the martial art is, it can't kill them." Then Zi Bing shouted, "Therefore, we have to chop them into even smaller particles." Then she cast myriad transformations. The evil demons scattered everywhere. Renhai praised, "Little friend, no wonder you could hold your ground in the northern domain." Huang Ru also praised her. "Fellow Taoist Zi, you must have created this cultivation technique yourself, right? Could you give me some pointers another day?" Zi Bing replied shyly, "You two flatter me." Suddenly, a spatial portal opened behind them. Yifan noticed and said, "There's another abyss behind us." Seeing it, Runhai shouted, "That's the northern domain abyss. It's about to close. We have to get out of here quickly." From within, that type of creature appeared again, but this time it could speak human language. "Don't even think about leaving. Stop them." Immediately after, a large swarm of strange creatures rushed towards their ship, making Zi Bing exclaim in fear. "This number is just too much. There are too many to kill." Everyone began to attack those dark creatures. Nini attacked with talismans. Renhai struck with powerful fists, and Huang Ru used the power of her hairpin. She created a giant lotus flower, making those creatures disappear. But it was also useless, because as soon as one wave was gone, another flew over. Seeing them rush over, Zi Bing said dejectedly, "They're so persistent, they won't let us go." Nini sighed. "What do we do now? I'm almost out of explosion talismans." Renhai said, "Because they're very difficult to deal with. We have to chop their bodies into even smaller pieces. But there are priorities. We have to leave this godforsaken place first." Huang Ru said to everyone, "Not necessarily. There must be another way." She looked at them. "Those evil demons don't dare to attack Senior, because Senior has the strength to kill even a celestial general. So these few petty evil demons will surely be annihilated." But the truth was, those evil demons simply felt that Yifan was no threat. Yifan rested his chin on his hand and pondered. "These evil demons have no hostility towards me, and the systems have mysteriously disappeared. Could they be the masterpiece of those systems?" Seeing him so calm, Nini asked Zi Bing with great admiration, "With Junior Brother, how is he so calm? Could it be that he's already thought of a solution?" Yifan stood up and said, "I'm just a mortal. What solution could I have? But Senior Sister, don't worry too much. Just think a little more, and you'll surely figure it out." Hearing this, Zi Bing's spirits were lifted, and she guessed, "It's just as Master said. My Junior Brother likes to see himself as a mortal. If Junior Brother said so, there must be a way." She suddenly shouted, "Evil demons have plagued the northern domain for many years, forgetting the before, the middle, and the after. In short, now is the time to exorcise demons and defend the Tao." Huang Ru was puzzled. "What's before, middle, and after?" Nini explained, "This is the official's accent I heard in the Great Liang Imperial Palace. Senior was on a flying ship at the time, so you wouldn't know." This attitude also lifted Renhai's spirits. "If little friend is so confident, then I don't need to hold back either." Hearing this, Huang Ru and Nini also prepared for a decisive battle. Nini said, "Then I'll also bring out all my trump cards." They surrounded them. Suddenly, they looked at each other, then stabbed each other and committed suicide. Huang Ru and Zi Bing were shocked. The evil demons committed suicide? Seeing them continuously stabbing each other, Huang Ru was puzzled. "What are they doing?" Zi Bing commented, "I've never seen this behavior before." Yifan watched and guessed, looking at this situation. "I guess they're fusing." Renhai heard this and asked, "Fusing?" A moment later, the small creatures turned into larger ones. Golden Core Stage, Nascent Soul Stage, Spirit Transformation Stage, Aperture Exiting Stage, Body Integration Stage, Mahayana Stage, Tribulation Transcendent Stage, Celestial Immortal, Mystic Immortal. Renhai asked, "Xiantian?" They turned into Xiantian in just a short time. Huang Ru was just as confused. "What kind of maneuver is this? I've never heard of it in the upper realm." Nini fearfully grabbed Zi Bing's hand. "Senior Zi Bing, isn't this evil spirit's strength too heaven-defying? I feel like if just a few of them appeared, the entire northern border would be annihilated." Zi Bing was also puzzled. How is this possible? In the northern domain, their numbers are greater than insects, but there are very few with strength surpassing the nascent soul stage. But if each of them can become a Xiantian, then the entire immortal realm will collapse. Yifan looked up at the sky and thought to himself, could it be because of the moonlight? What trick are those systems trying to pull? Are they trying to create a desperate situation to suppress them? Renhai turned to ask for Yifan's opinion. "Little friend, how are we supposed to fight this?" Yifan suddenly shouted, "Come out. I know you're hiding nearby." Everyone on the ship was confused. A moment later, a fireball appeared. The fireball fell, scattering those evil demons. When the fireball stopped, the silhouette of a creature appeared. It faced them. Renhai was shocked. "What kind of evil beast is this?" Zi Bing praised. "It wiped out the evil demons in one move. Its strength is definitely not inferior to Senior's." The creature moved in front of Yifan and said, "You still found me." After speaking, it transformed into a beautiful young lady and called him, "My dearest friend." Yifan asked in shock, "You're Dahe?" Yifan kept asking, "Qingluan?" "Dahe," she replied shyly. "Dearest friend, I know it's my fault for hiding my whereabouts, but you're being so agitated." Suddenly, he shamelessly shouted, "Wait, where's your thing?" Qinglan replied, "Dearest friend, that's a bit rude to say. I've always had a woman's body. However," she sweetly stepped forward and hugged Yifan, saying, "It's so good to feel your warmth again." Seeing this scene, Nini asked with tears in her eyes, "Why do other women always appear around Senior?" Hearing Nini's question, Bing thought to herself, "I feel like I should be the one asking this question on behalf of my master." Yifan, for some reason, raised his voice at Qinglan. "What are you doing in this world? Don't tell me you want me to go back. I'm telling you now, I'm not going back. Besides, I'm just a mortal. I can't help with anything." Qinglan was stunned, but still tried to answer. "Dearest friend, how could I possibly force you? I was the eternal night demon lord in that other world for a few days, but then that world was destroyed by those Taoist disciples, and also your master." Hearing this, he turned away and said, "So it was destroyed, then it has nothing to do with me anymore." Qinglan was puzzled. Why is my dearest friend's attitude so cold? Could he have been affected by something? She turned and proposed to them. "You are my dearest friend's companions, right? I'll fly you out of this space." Bing took out her compass and asked, "Senior, do you know how to get out?" "My compass." Looking closely, Bing was excited. "It's working again." At the same time, the check-in system and the chicken blood system were somewhere else. The chicken blood system asked, "Still haven't found the host?" The check-in system held a compass and said, "Can't be helped. The northern domain is too severely corroded." Both of them were very dejected. The chicken blood system said, "Let's use luck points to exchange for a more expensive radar." The check-in system sighed, "We're out of money." But they didn't notice their ship was flying towards them from behind. Only when it got close did they realize, and they shouted excitedly, "Great, the host is out." But they couldn't dodge in time and were hit by the ship. So when they boarded the ship to see Yifan, they both had a bump on their heads. The chicken blood system said dejectedly to the host, "We're back." The check-in system excitedly called him host. Yifan asked them, "Are you done acting?" The check-in system didn't understand. "Acting what?" Yifan angrily criticized them. "Don't play dumb. Repeatedly creating danger, pushing the people around me into desperate situations. I've had enough of you." Hearing the baseless accusation, the check-in system angrily replied, "How unconscionable. Host, I've never set you up, let alone harm the people around you. If I'm lying, just let the main system delete my data 100 times, then throw me into the dark room for complete destruction." The chicken blood system also chimed in, "Host, it's telling the truth. If we harm the host, our performance record would go into the negative." Yifan also calmed down and asked the check-in system, "All right, I'll believe you this once. Tell me, why did you two go missing?" It replied happily, "Host, it's like this. We were interfered with by the moon particles from the planar fragment, so we couldn't find the host's existence." He didn't understand and asked, "Moon particles?" The check-in system began to explain, "It's that thing that looks like a moon." Hearing this, Yifan exclaimed, "This thing also has a shielding function? So useful." The chicken blood system also added, "That's right. If something happened to you, we wouldn't even know." He repeated once more, "This thing also has a shielding function. So useful." The check-in system repeated what the chicken blood system had just said. "If something happened to you, we wouldn't know at all." In the back mountain of the Purple Cloud sect, Long Shiji was hiding and saying, "Today is the 15th day I've been a human cultivator's spirit pet. Since following the human cultivator, I've lived an incredibly boring life every day." It dejectedly mentioned Ming by, "Every day it's either watching this idiot cultivate, bringing him food, or shooting the breeze and drinking. What future does this idiot master have?" But Long Shiji also admitted, "However, I have to admit, this kid now has a mid-stage spirit transformation cultivation, even higher than the sect master." Then it recalled the conflict with Fei Yi. "That crazy dog-raising woman outside doesn't even dare to touch me. Seeing how angry she looks, it's actually quite nice here." At that time, it even provoked her, "Come and kill me." After thinking, it shouted, "No, Long Shiji, oh Long Shiji, how could you become so depraved?" Long Shiji was so dejected because, as a noble true dragon, it should be roaming the four seas stopping by mountains and rivers. How could it be like an ordinary spirit pet? Recalling being Ming Bai's pet made it even more depressed. Willingly staying in this cramped dragon's lair, eating vegetable soup made by the idiot master every day. So Long Shiji decided to rise up and resist. And leave? No, I'm leaving today. I can unilaterally break the contract anyway. That idiot can't control me. As long as I run fast enough, that crazy woman won't find me. I have to escape. Just after it started to leave, it ran into Yi Fan's group returning on the flying ship. Yi Fan bowed respectfully. Master Ziyin, I'm back. Ziyin said happily, "It's good that you're back, my good disciple. Look how thin you've become." Seeing the scene before it, Long Shiji was stunned. The person that both the idiot master and that crazy woman respect. Its eyes widened, and cold sweat broke out as it realized. Wait. Seeing Huang Ru, it was shocked. Behind him is a feather transformation immortal, and also a celestial immortal. Long Shiji began to fearfully curse its fate. Any one of them could skewer me like a kebab. Yi Fan unsuspectingly introduced Qing Lan to Master Ziyin. Master, let me introduce you. This is my dearest friend. Her name is Da He. She smiled and corrected. Ah, my name is Qing Lan. Ziyin said angrily. My good disciple, what woman did you get to know from who knows where this time? Qing Lan just needed a single glance to scare Long Shiji so much it almost peed its pants. What kind of monster is that? You're scaring this baby to death. And so, Long Shiji no longer cared about its dignity and ran back to its den. To hell with nobility. From now on, I'll just stay here and be a salted fish. At this time, the sun was high in the sky, shining on the ancient pavilions. A voice called out, Old Ma, in the pavilion. A man was sleeping drunk on a table. Suddenly, two old men and a man appeared. The man spoke up and called, Sectmaster, don't be heartbroken anymore. An old man saw this and also spoke up to comfort him. Sectmaster, please restrain your grief. The Vice Sect Master certainly wouldn't want to see you so heartbroken. Vice Sect Master Ma Fen worked diligently and devotedly for the sect. He must have imagined such an outcome, being disturbed in his sleep. Ma Turin's eyes became incredibly terrifying. He looked up and angrily cursed. What the hell are you comforting me for? That sissy is dead. I couldn't be happier. The three of them were stunned upon hearing this. The man calculated in his mind. Was their relationship that bad? The brown-haired old man spoke up. Then the position of Vice Sect Master is vacant. Whose turn is it now? The white-bearded old man, not to be outdone, spoke up. I'm an elder of 3 dynasties of the sect. Shouldn't I be the one in charge? Tu-Ren fiddled with the command token in his hand. He sat on a chair, frowning as he began to express his attitude. It seems you people have no intention of avenging Ma Fen at all. Ma Fen's death must be for a worthy cause. We can't defeat those bastards from the Myriad Beast sect, but what the hell is the Purple Cloud sect? Just 2 aperture exiting stage, cultivators dare to ride on my head? His mood sank, his expression extremely grim. He ordered, pass on my command, go to the evil suppressing sect, and invite a few assassins over. As long as you get Yi Fan's head, I will reward you handsomely. Hearing his command, they respectfully replied, yes. On Yi Fan's side, at this moment, he was cooking, looking very happy, and said, today is truly a good day for cooking. Suddenly, the roll call system appeared, shattering his cheerful atmosphere. It held some kind of book in its hand and said, Host, today I help you check in and got a secret codex of pill origin. Please accept it. He was annoyed, his face displeased. Do you have no idea how to read the room? You just have to pop out at this moment, completely ruining my mood. It tossed the book onto the poor fish, acting magnanimously, and said, Host, this is a great treasure. As long as you master the art of pill refining, you could be like Madame Xiao, supported wherever you go. He asked mischievously, but do I have the spiritual power to refine pills? Seeing that he had a point, it replied, that's true. Yi Fan immediately ordered, throw it away. A book this thick, I'd even disdain using it to prop up a table leg. It said sadly, then I'll just throw it away. As the roll call system was about to throw the book away, the blood-pumping system popped out from nowhere and called out to it. Roll call system, are you just going to obediently throw it away like that? It replied sadly, what else can I do? The host throws things in the trash every time anyway. The blood-pumping system came up with a cunning idea. then why not leave it for the other people in the sect? Although it can't directly benefit the host, we can earn some luck points. The roll call system heard this and agreed. Right, why didn't I think of that? While Yi Fan was busy cooking, Yuan pushed the door open from out of nowhere and barged in, calling out loudly, "Junior brother Yi Fan, are you free? Can you test some medicine with me?" Seeing her arrive, the two systems looked cunning. The roll call system said, "The right person has arrived." The blood-pumping system added, "Speak of the devil, and he shall appear." Looking at her, Yi Fan said with some impatience, "Second Elder, doesn't your pill refining pavilion have anyone? Why are you looking for me to test medicine?" In contrast to him, Yuan replied very cheerfully, "There are no pill refining elders at all. It's just been me from the very beginning." Hearing this, Yi Fan angrily replied, "Huh? Then what's the point of building a pill refining room?" Suddenly, Yuan started pulling Yi Fan's arm. She said happily, "Yi Fan, you're the nicest of my grandpa. Please help me out." Seeing this scene, he started to resist, clinging to a pillar. "There's so many disciples in the sect. Go harm someone else." The two of them kept struggling, while Yuan continued to persuade. "They don't have your patience. They come and go as they please. Only you." Hearing that, he immediately refused. "I'm just a mortal. I'm the most impatient person there is." Immediately, the roll call system bravely flew out to help him, but it was still holding that book, saying, "Host, I'm here to help you." It immediately used the book to smack her right on the forehead, so hard her eyes bulged out. "Feel the grace of knowledge." After that, Yuan lay sprawled on the ground, a red, swollen lump on her forehead. He looked at her and said, "Second Elder, are you all right?" The roll call system heard this and replied cheerfully, "Don't worry. It just theoretically gave her brain a minor concussion." Suddenly, Yuan's eyes flew open and she mumbled, "So much inspiration, so much inspiration. I know how to refine pills now." Seeing the scene before him, Yi Fan was extremely shocked, asking worriedly, "Elder, are you all right?" Yuan came to her senses, her spirit still unsettled, and said repeatedly, "Do you have a pen and paper? Quick, give it to me. I'm afraid the inspiration will disappear." Hearing this, he immediately replied, "I should have some. Let me find it for you." Yuan sat at the desk, a messy pile of paper behind her. She wrote something with a serious expression. Yi Fan stood behind her watching intently and spoke up, "Elder, you write so fast, you finished copying a whole book in less than an hour." Yuan heard this and immediately replied, "Of course, I am the most talented pill master of the Purple Cloud sect after all. These kinds of inherited formulas are a piece of cake for me." Realizing something was wrong, Yuan immediately asked, "Wait, what'd you just say, copying?" Seeing her dazed look, Yi Fan replied cheerfully, "You must have misheard." At this moment, the roll call system and the blood pumping system started discussing above. The blood-pumping system said with some worry, "Isn't what she's writing thicker than the secret codex of pill origin?" The roll call system replied, "It's 80% likely she's added her own self-written parts." The blood-pumping system immediately responded, "Then isn't this a disaster?" After finishing, Yuan stood up holding a stack of paper and said, "Martial nephew Yi Fan," she said slyly, "I have several hundred formulas that need verification. Come test them with me." Yi Fan replied helplessly, "Elder, are you determined to work me to death today?" Suddenly, someone walked in from the door. It was Xiayan. He walked in and asked, "Excuse me, is this Yi Fan's room in the Purple Cloud sect?" Looking at his fearsome appearance, the two asked in unison, "You are a great perfection aperture exiting stage expert?" Xiayan began to introduce himself with a fierce expression. "I'm the Grandmaster of the Evil Suppressing Sect. Xiayan, just call me Xiayan." Yi Fan replied, "That's me." Seeing him, Yi Fan rejoiced inwardly. "Someone's here to save me. Great. I finally don't have to go test medicine anymore." Xiayan's fearsome face began to draw his sword. "So you're Yi Fan? The 16th one? I definitely didn't find the wrong person this time." The roll call system warned in a panic, "Host, he's very dangerous. Run away quickly." The blood-pumping system replied very calmly, "Shouldn't we be reminding the host to use our power?" Suddenly, Yuan squeezed in between them. Breaking the tension, she said, "Wait, my martial nephew Yi Fan still has to test medicine with me." Xiayan was immediately drawn to the stack of paper in her hand. He suggested, "Let me see." He looked at the stack of paper, and a golden light emanated from it. He exclaimed in admiration, "Little girl, you truly are a genius." Hearing this, Yuan replied modestly, "Not at all. It was just a sudden burst of inspiration." He began to suggest insidiously, "You can turn ordinary pills into poisons. this crippling pill, this strange formula. Isn't there one that can make people suffer more than death? She immediately replied angrily. Can you not let me in with you? Xie Yin requested with great excitement. Little girl, how about you let me test a medicine for you? If my body doesn't get poisoned for a day, I feel uncomfortable all over. Yuan immediately disagreed, replying with a displeased face. Get lost. My pills are not for refining poison. Scene changes to Renhai's side. At this moment, he was effortlessly beating the other group to a pulp. He thought to himself, strange, why have so many assassins appeared in the Purple Cloud sect these past 2 days? But with the little friend's powerful strength, he should be able to handle it. Back to the ancient architectural complexes with towering mountains, a voice rang out. Report. Inside, many men were constantly chatting. One person said, what is it? Has Grandmaster Xie Yin succeeded? A man with a face as if he'd seen a ghost, drenched in sweat, said trembling, Grandmaster Xie Yin, he has surrendered to the enemy. The others heard this. Were all dumbfounded, unable to believe their ears. At this time, at Yuan's place, she was refining medicine, while that Xie Yin guy was lying in a pot of medicine, exclaiming with a look of enjoyment, this pill is so potent, so comfortable. At this moment, that Turin fellow was furious, holding the command token. He roared, evil suppressing sect, what kind of trick are you playing? Why did your Grandmaster Xie Yin choose to betray us? In contrast to his anger, the other end of the line replied cheerfully, Sect Master Ma, this is all a misunderstanding. He was originally an honorary elder of our evil-suppressing sect. He has always acted on a whim. I didn't expect. The more Turin spoke, the angrier he got, clenching the command token in his hand and said, is that so? Wait until my sect's ancestor comes out of seclusion. Let's see how you explain it then. Hearing him say that, the other end immediately stopped him in fear. Don't. Absolutely do not tell your ancestor. I will immediately dispatch the brothers of the Annihilation Hall. Hearing this, his anger subsided slightly, and he asked, Annihilation Hall? The other end began to explain. As you know, the Annihilation Hall is our Eastern Wasteland's renowned team of assassins, an ace in the hole. As long as they make a move, I guarantee I will deliver the heads of Xie Yin and Yi Fan to the Sunstar sect. After hearing this, he replied, all right, then I'll wait for your good news. Back mountain of the Purple Cloud sect, Spirit Beast Garden. At this time, Bai Tao and Fei Yi were together. Bai Tao, holding a collar for spirit beasts, asked very fearfully, is she also considered a spirit beast? The person in front was Qing Lan. Seeing Bai Tao's state, she crossed her arms happily and said, I didn't expect you to run to the Purple Cloud sect, and you're even in charge of taking care of spirit beasts. If you have the guts, try putting it on me. Suddenly, Fei Yi became mischievous, pushing Bai Tao forward, while Qing Lan on the other side was very angry. Fei Yi said cheerfully, little sister, I see you haven't had much screen time lately. Today, it's your turn to train. Bai Tao replied in confusion, huh? You want me to tie her up? Fei Yi hugged the nine-tailed spirit fox and the husky, and said happily, you see, I'm raising 2 of them. You're only helping to raise 1. Isn't that very easy? Bai Tao worriedly pointed at the angry Qing Lan and said, easy where? She looks like she wants to eat me. Fei Yi was very cheerful. Ignoring the flames of anger behind her, she said nonchalantly, don't worry, your cultivation is too low, she won't eat you. Hearing that, Bai Tao replied very worriedly, she really eats people. Suddenly, several darts shot out from behind Fei Yi. She held a pistol, immediately turned around and asked, who's there? The darts shot over and began to shatter into many pieces. A voice rang out, the dead don't need to know much. Spirit transformation 5th level, void interpretation 4th level, evil suppressing sect, chaotic annihilation hall assassins. Immediately, a group of black-clothed men who looked like assassins descended from the sky, landing in front of Fei Yi and Bai Tao. Facing the fearsome group of black-clothed men, Bai Tao immediately said worriedly, big sister, these people look very strong. Let's run. Fei Yi replied with a calm expression, no matter how strong, can they be stronger than a magic treasure? The black-clothed man holding a dagger ordered, attack. Immediately, those black-clothed men also rushed towards Ziyun and the senior brother. They loudly announced their conspiracy, completely wiped the Purple Cloud sect from the cultivation world. Ming Bai, holding an axe and vegetables, was also surrounded by the black-clothed men. Huang Ru and Ren Hai were also their targets. They pounced like fierce tigers, wanting to kill everyone. Over here, the flower spirit was gradually weakening and withering. It called out weakly, "Water, does Master not need me anymore? If there's no water, I'll die of thirst." The flower spirit had been neglected for a long time. At this moment, Yi Fan's hand was carrying a bowl of something as he walked over. Seeing him, it had no vitality left, unable to speak. It moaned softly, "Master, Master, save me. I'm about to die of thirst." Hearing the weak cry for help, Yi Fan looked left and right, saw no one, and said, "Strange, am I hallucinating?" The flower, in desperation, tried to say, "Master, I'm here." Knowing it was the flower spirit's call, he looked at its weak state and scolded, "Damn it, how long has it been since I watered this flower?" He made use of the soup in his hand, pouring it straight into the flower pot, and said slyly, "I'll use this cold soup to water it for now. It even has nutrients. It probably won't die." Suddenly, thanks to that bowl of soup, the flower spirit recovered, becoming incredibly healthy. It exclaimed, "It's beast soup again. I feel like I've been revived." Seeing this, the roll call system immediately came over to remind him. "Host, a friendly reminder, a large number of assassins have been detected heading towards Immortal Jade Peak. Please leave quickly." Yi Fan replied with a calm expression, "They're here again? It's not like the silver-eyed Eagle King from last time, is it?" Suddenly, a person with a sword broke through the window and rushed in, startling both Yi Fan and the spirit beast, and the bowl in his hand also fell. At this critical moment, the blood-pumping system flew over, using the 1,000-layer silkworm Silk Aegis skill to form a golden circle protecting Yi Fan. His house was now in smithereens. The person who rushed in was none other than Xie Yan. Yi Fan walked out the door in a panic and said, "My window." Meanwhile, Xie Yan sat on the ground and said cheerfully, "Little friend Yi, you don't blame me for leading people here, do you?" Suddenly, the leader of the assassins sat on Yi Fan's window and even provoked, "You still have the mind to worry about your window? Worry about your own life first." He was the hall master of the Annihilation Hall, the big brother. He saw Xie Yan and said with interest, "And you, Xie Yan, to think you'd betray the sect for a pill formula. You really deserve to die." Hearing these words, Xie Yan was not afraid at all, and even cursed back under the angry gaze of the big brother. "You bunch of idiots. All you know is fighting and killing all day. What the hell do you know? I already had an agreement with your sect master. If there ever came a day I no longer wanted to stay, he was not to make things difficult for me." The Annihilation Hall master was so angry, he began to draw his sword. He held a sharp iron sword and immediately ordered his soldiers, "Don't just focus on Xie Yan. Yi Fan must be killed too." They heard this and immediately replied, "Yes." Immediately, Ren Hai, Huang Ru, and Qing Lan flew down from the roof. They shouted in unison, "I'd like to see who dares." The big brother's face began to turn red, and he asked, "Why are you all here? Wait, could it be that the several hundred brothers who surrounded the Purple Cloud sect are all dead?" Huang Ru cast a spell, saying in an extremely cool and domineering way, "You aperture exiting stage cultivators, even if thousands of you came, you would not be my match." On Qing Lan's side, she was not to be outdone. Her fighting spirit surged. "Just leave these enemies to me." Hearing this, the Annihilation Hall master's face turned pale. This spiritual power, could it be that you're all Tribulation Transcendent stage great experts? Ren Hai sneered, pulled his hat down, and replied, "Tribulation Transcendent stage? I'm afraid you've underestimated us." Hearing this, they already knew their fate. The Annihilation Hall master panicked and immediately gave the order, "Brothers, retreat quickly." Huang Ru watched them scatter and flee, and said, "What do you think you're running?" The three of them immediately gave chase. Xie Yan also joined in on the fun, calling out loudly, "Hey, you three, can you let me come along?" Yi Fan stood in front of the ruins, his face gloomy, and let out a sigh. "With the house destroyed like this, where am I supposed to stay tonight?" While Yi Fan was busy cleaning up the house, the roll call system appeared, kindly wanting to help the host. "I have a restoration flashlight here. Do you want to try it?" Hearing this, Yi Fan's heart was in turmoil, and he immediately refused. "No, don't bother me." Seeing this, it still asked cheerfully again, "Are you sure you don't need it? This thing has nothing to do with cultivation." But he just yelled angrily, "I don't need it, don't bother me." The flower spirit looked at the scene before it, and also mumbled to itself, "Why is Master talking to himself? If only I could do something to help Master." Suddenly, its whole body turned golden, and it jumped up joyfully and said, "That's right. right. I'll release some floral fragrance. Maybe Master's mood will get better. While the flower spirit was extremely happy, it didn't notice that the husky was staring at it and saying, "Little fox sister, this flower smells so good." The nine-tailed spirit fox replied with a dangerous look, "That's right, brother." Then they started looking at the flower spirit as if they wanted to eat it alive. The nine-tailed spirit fox looked at it and exclaimed, "If we put this flower on the little bed, the bed won't smell anymore." The flower spirit cried and cursed the heavens, asking, "What do you want to do?" The flower spirit cried out loudly for help. Help! The cry for help was so loud it echoed throughout the entire purple cloud sect. Night fell under the romantic moonlight. Over here, the leader held a sword, his whole body trembling. He stammered, "I'm warning you, no matter how weak we are, we still have our pride." Renhai heard this and replied contemptuously, "Cut the crap. Who do you want to die at the hands of? The four of us are still waiting to earn merits." Faced with these overwhelmingly powerful experts, while Aside only had a few people left, he spoke with a trembling voice. "Is there no chance to atone for our crimes?" Hearing him say that, Renhai's side immediately replied, "No." Suddenly, a strange fragrance came from nowhere, wafting straight into everyone's noses. Smelling the strange scent, Huang Ru asked, "What is that smell?" "Floral fragrance, the smell of corpses and the smell of earth." Renhai also smelled it and said in surprise, "Why is there such pure spiritual energy? It seems to carry a trace of heavenly Tao enlightenment." Looking up, they only saw the nine-tailed spirit fox and the husky sitting on a green coffin, descending from the sky. The husky shouted from above, "Big sister, look, we brought back a treasure." Seeing the scene before them, the few black-clothed men were also stunned. "A flying coffin?" Fei Yi looked at the coffin and said loudly, "What did you two bring back this time? Let me see." From within the coffin emanated the fragrance that everyone had just smelled. Seeing so many high-status people, the flower spirit hugged its head in fear. "A bunch of big shots are surrounding me." At this moment, everyone surrounded the flower spirit, making it even more frightened, breaking out in a cold sweat. Qing Lan stared at it intently and said, "It's a flower spirit, a type of plant-based spirit cultivator that is nearly extinct in the upper realm." Xie Yin heard this and also spoke up. "It seems to also be called a heavenly spirit branch. If nurtured carefully, its cultivation talent is no less than a human's." At this moment, Fei Yi walked up to the husky and questioned, "Where did you bring this flower from?" It immediately answered obediently, "From Master's place." This was also raised by Master. Renhai, with a serious expression, also commented, "So it was the little friend who had his spirit pets bring this flower over. Could it be that he wants us to nurture this flower spirit together?" Xie Yin immediately replied, "I didn't expect him to have such foresight at such a young age." Seeing that everyone had let their guard down, the three black-clothed men began to plot their escape. A purple-haired one said, "Big brother, it seems they want to turn us into fertilizer for the flower." The green-haired one heard this and continued, trembling, "They're not paying attention to us. Let's slip away." Before the words were finished, the cowardly big brother had already bolted. "Then what are we waiting for? Run!" The two behind him were stunned, calling out loudly, "Big brother!" As he was running, he noticed something behind him. He gritted his teeth and asked, "What the hell is this?" As soon as he finished speaking, there was a deafening boom and flames erupted. He was flying in midair, charred black by the explosion. The two below saw this scene, so scared they were speechless, tears welling in their eyes. The explosion just now was caused by Qing Lan. She had just finished her masterpiece, blowing on her fingertips, looking extremely cool. At this time, Ziyun came to visit Yi Fan. She was extremely surprised to see the ruins before her and asked, "My dear disciple, how did your house get so wrecked?" Yi Fan was busy rebuilding his house and replied, "Can't be helped. There were too many assassins at the time. They destroyed the whole house." After hearing his story, Ziyin stood behind him and made a suggestion. "My dear disciple, how about you temporarily move to the main peak and stay with me?" Putting down the important things, he felt it made sense and agreed. "I guess that's the only way." Yi Fan held a box in his hand, looking somewhat sad, and said, "It seems this was left for me by my parents." Ziyin heard this and replied in great surprise, "It was left for you by Shao Kong and Yao Yao." Hearing Ziyin call his parents by their nicknames, he said, "For you to call them by their nicknames is really strange." Yi Fan held the box, and a light shone from within. There was a chili-shaped necklace. He looked at the necklace and commented, "They brought this thing here again. I thought they would use a jade pendant as a family heirloom." Ziyin heard this and asked, "This jade pendant is..." He began to stroke his chin and deduce, According to them, I had it as soon as I was born. A passing grandmaster did a divination, saying that whoever holds this jade pendant, that person is my future wife. Hearing about Yi Fan's future partner, Ziyun's jaw dropped in surprise as she replied, "Future wife?" He recalled his grandpa once saying, "This is a mandarin duck jade. You have to believe me." Ziyun started to pout unhappily while he pointed at the mandarin duck jade and said incessantly, "This kind of story of the stone plot, it's fine if it fools my parents, but master, you shouldn't believe it blindly." He placed it back in a box, but began to ponder in his heart. In every life, I was born normally, and then the system appeared. But why was I born with this piece of jade? Ziyun snatched the box, causing Yi Fan to exclaim, "Don't, master, what are you doing?" She began to smile mischievously and replied, "My dear disciple, it's better to believe it exists than not. This jade pendant is very important to you. I'll keep it safe for you." He replied in surprise, "Just like my family?" Since she had said so, Yi Fan didn't insist and had to hand it over to her. "As you wish." She hugged the box, as if she had achieved her goal. "My dear disciple, when you find your Tao companion, I will return it to you then." In an ancient building, a voice rang out, "What? The Annihilation Hall was wiped out?" A subordinate was reporting to Tu Run. "Yes, they even fell from a great height, their bones shattered." Hearing this, that guy was extremely furious, cursing incessantly, "A bunch of useless trash. And they have the nerve to call themselves the #1 assassin organization in the Eastern Wasteland. They can't even take down a small, third-rate sect. Go tell the sect master of the evil-suppressing sect to make a move personally, otherwise I'll wipe them all out." Hearing this, the subordinate said timidly, "That doesn't seem necessary anymore." The subordinate recalled the image of two men holding a sign, his face pale as he said, "The sect master of the evil-suppressing sect said that the Purple Cloud sect is a hidden powerhouse sect. They really don't dare to offend them. Now, their entire mountain gate is empty. I heard even the sign has been sold to a woodcutter at the foot of the mountain." Hearing this, Tu Ren was so angry he coughed up blood. The force of his power sent the subordinate flying. He ordered, "Don't dare to offend my ass. Go get the portrait of Yi Fan. I will personally make a move." The man, with tears and snot all over his face, replied, "Yes." The servant happily ran over, holding Yi Fan's portrait, and said, "Sect master, Yi Fan's portrait has been brought." Tu Ren took the portrait, praising it with a wicked expression. "Very good." Suddenly, he transformed himself into a mysterious black smoke, startling the servant. Then he suddenly grew limbs and hair, finally transforming into a complete body identical to Yi Fan. All right. The other person praised him endlessly. "As expected of the sect master, you've transformed into an exact copy of Yi Fan, just like that." Tu Ren laughed smugly. "When the real Yi Fan goes out, just watch how I destroy the Purple Cloud sect." As Tu Ren was walking, the husky ran up and bit his leg. He cried out in pain, "Aya, that hurts like hell." But the husky said, "Meat? Master, I want to eat meat." Tu Ren was still cursing loudly. "What is this damn dog doing?" The nine-tailed fox tried its best to intervene. "Hey, brother, let go quickly," Fei Yi said with a face full of self-blame. "Senior brother Yi, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect you to come to the back mountain." She asked with great concern, "I'll definitely keep a better eye on it next time. Let me treat your wound first." But Tu Ren pretended to be understanding. "It's all right, it's just a small wound. I have other matters to attend to." About the previous mountain peak, the husky asked Fei Yi in confusion, "Sister Fei Yi, why does the master's scent smell so different today? It's like the smell of beef." She muttered to herself, "Oh, a scent?" Tu Ren was furious, cursing inwardly. "Damn it, I ran into bad luck as soon as I stepped out. I shouldn't have chosen the back mountain as my first stop. What cultivation level is this dog? It shattered my leg bone in a single bite." Tu Ren looked at the doorframe ahead. "I have to see if there's any medicine to treat this." Suddenly, a hand grabbed his shoulder from behind, asking, "Kid, what are you doing?" He panicked, thinking to himself, "Who is this? Is it Xie Yan?" Then he opened his mouth and replied, "Oh, no, it's nothing. I was just passing by and taking a look." The man stepped forward, pointed at the new wound on his leg, and then asked, "I see your leg is quite seriously injured. You haven't treated it yet?" He fearfully clutched his leg. "Master, you usually refine poisons. How would I dare let you treat me?" The man chuckled smugly. "I didn't expect you to know me so well." He and Tu Ren looked at each other. Then he pointed a finger at Yuan, after which he explained, "I know you don't trust me, an outsider, but surely you can trust your second elder?" He advised, "I'll give her some advice. I guarantee that within an hour, Your leg will be able to walk as if you're flying. Yuan ran up to him holding a mysterious bottle of medicine, advising, Yifan, don't worry, I've improved all the sex pills. Tu Run was drenched in sweat, thinking to himself, use both legs? Won't I be a goner then? Then she continued, this medicine is 3 to 4 times more effective than the last one. He anxiously explained, don't you people understand what I'm saying? I already told you I don't need treatment. Yuan held the medicine bottle and poured it straight into his mouth. Such a dawdler for a man. If you're going to eat it quickly. At this moment, the whites of his eyes showed and his whole body trembled. He was so scared he imagined himself being thrown into a pot, stewing with some terrifying pink creatures. Honored guest, it's time for a sumptuous dinner. What's for dinner? Pointing at the pot with a terrifying gaze. This beef stew. His face was filled with terror. Then he begged in fear, don't kill me. Don't kill me. At the same time, Renhai was passing by, laughing heartily. Little friend, are you all right? He said worriedly, scare me to death, so it was a dream. You are, Renhai. Then the man used his strength to help him up. He gave a fake laugh. I remember now, I was a bit dizzy after taking the medicine last time. The man asked with concern, I heard from Fei Yi that your leg was injured. Is it better now? He asked back, my leg? Seeing this, he pretended to be impressed. I didn't expect the medicine from Xie Yin and the second elder to be so effective. But in his heart, he thought, it's healed again? Seeing this, Renhai was secretly pleased. That's great. Little friend, this is your to-do list for today. I've already arranged it for you. He turned his head curiously. Let me see. Today's tasks. In the morning, prepare breakfast for Master and Senior Sister. Take a 2-hour nap. In the evening, prepare dinner for Senior Sister. Then go fishing and release the fish into the pond. Note, Master has never had beef noodle soup, so you must make it tonight. His eyes became unusually terrifying. Actually, you all have seen through me, haven't you? Renhai was confused. Seen through what? Suddenly, Tu Ren rushed towards him with a knife, as if to assassinate him. I am Ma, Tu Run. Renhai sent him flying onto the roof with a single kick. He screamed in panic. I had long guessed your scheme, but I wasn't sure. I originally thought Fei Yi was overthinking things, but I didn't expect you to really be a fake. Huang Ru looked at him and scolded. You dare to imitate the senior's appearance. You deserve to die. Qing Wan glared at him. Leave him with one breath, for the flowers to use as fertilizer. He was guessing if these 3 were the 3 Tribulation Transcendence Realm experts. No, it's those 3 immortals. Then his eyes widened in horror. No wonder the evil-suppressing sect was so scared it disbanded. What kind of monstrous sect is this? Renhai rushed forward and threw a punch. Eat my fist. He retreated in fear. He was calculating something, his terrifying gaze fixed on a golden bracelet in front of him. Renhai turned his head to look at him and said, trying to run? Huang Ru was angry because he was holding her bracelet. He took my butterfly illusion marsh bracelet again. At this moment, Ziyun and Yifan were strolling through the forest. Ziyun then asked, I didn't expect the true sect master's job to be so busy, but she's so generous, spending 20 million high-grade spirit stones with a wave of her hand. Yifan just hummed in acknowledgement. Ziyin continued, precious disciple, from now on you should go out more. Maybe you'll get to know a few more generous fellow Taoists. Hearing a commotion behind them, the 2 turned their heads to look. Suddenly a voice rang out. Stop, don't run. Ziyin pointed at him and said in surprise, why is there another person who looks exactly like my precious disciple? Yifan said in a gloomy tone, how are we alike? We're clearly not alike at all. The group chasing from behind shouted loudly, imposter, don't even think about escaping. Tu Ren rushed in front of Ziyun and shouted, Master, save me. Seeing someone dressed exactly like Yifan appear, she looked left and right in confusion, asking doubtfully, precious disciple, but he's clearly dressed just like you. Even his face is identical. Seeing his master's reaction, Yifan replied helplessly, Master, it seems there's something wrong with your eyes. Suddenly, Tu Ren rushed forward, his face scrunched up as he grabbed Yifan's shoulder. Then Tu Ren suddenly executed a shape-shifting and shadow-swapping technique. The 2 spun around, making Yifan extremely dizzy. And Ziyun at the side was gaping in astonishment. A moment later, the 2 finally stopped, collapsing to the ground. Renhai, who had appeared out of nowhere, spoke up. Damn it, so he was playing with a real little friend. Fei Yi also complained, this is so troublesome. How about I release that dog again? That Tu Ren guy was playing the victim. He pointed at his face and said, who on earth are you? Why are you impersonating me? Master, deal with him quickly. This person definitely has a scheme. He was sent by some sect. Yifan was stunned and asked back, me? Ziyun's mind was a mess at this point, muddled and unable to tell them apart. At this moment, the two little systems were also discussing. The chicken blood system turned around, its face full of indignation, and said to the sign-in system, "System, are they blind? The fake one is so obviously ugly. How can I not tell?" The sign-in system heard this and didn't explain, but took out 2 guns. It asked, "Come on, tell me quickly, which one of these is a 98K? The chicken blood system was immediately dumbfounded. Aren't these 2 guns the same? Seeing this, it said, "Now you know why you can't tell, right?" At this moment, the fake guy was hugging Ziyun's leg and pretending to cry. "Master, what are you still hesitating for? Don't you believe that your disciple is your precious disciple?" She immediately pushed 2 Rin away, stating with certainty, "That's not right. My precious disciple wouldn't be so flustered. Who on earth are you?" The guy was furious. "I've been found out?" 2 Rin's eyes turned sharp, and he instantly reverted to his original form. He grabbed Ziyun by the throat and threatened, "So what if I've been found out? You're just a nascent soul." She couldn't react in time and was caught by him. Yifan shouted worriedly, "Master." Rinhai also spoke up, "This is bad. Little friend's master has been captured." 2 Rin pointed at him and warned, "Don't come over here. One more step and I'll kill her." He didn't dare to act rashly and could only ask, "What do you want?" Seeing that he was obedient, 2 Rin thought, "He doesn't dare to move? It seems this woman, though weak, is quite important." Thinking of this, he pushed his luck and made a condition. "If you don't want her to die, then let me go. Otherwise, I'll strip her naked right now and play her to death in front of you." Hearing the guy's disgusting words, the chicken blood system was furious. "This guy deserves to die. I can't stand the sound of his voice." The sign-in system wouldn't let it go either. It threw out a talisman. "How dare he bully someone close to the host? I'll hit him with a blood poison, so he can never touch anything again." 2 Rin was still gripping her throat tightly, slowly lifting Ziyun's body. Suddenly, to his horrified eyes, lumps started appearing all over his body. He immediately let go of Ziyun and fell to the ground, clutching his body and screaming, "It hurts so much. What on earth is happening? Over here." Yuan opened the lid of the jar. She pointed inside and asked Xie, "Have you seen my egg planting pill?" Xie, with his hand behind his back, looked inside and replied, "I almost forgot. I refined it into a blood ginseng pill." She asked curiously, "Then where's the blood ginseng pill?" He replied with a smug smile, "I fed it to someone. There was an imposter who wanted to sneak into the sect, but unfortunately, I saw through him." It turned out that 2 Rin's transformation was caused by Xie, the main culprit. 2 Rin was trembling with anger, helpless, and could only curse in his heart. "Damn you, Xie, this damn Ziyan sect. I will absolutely not let you off easily." Then he took out a golden bracelet and a necklace with a blue diamond. Seeing that item, Huang Ru happily recognized it. "It's my magic treasure again." Fei Yi at the side was a bit helpless. "You dropped too many things." Yifan didn't say much. He directly snatched the item from the guy's hand, saying, "This should be returned to its rightful owner." The guy saw this and was extremely shocked. He can actually snatch a magic treasure releasing immortal energy with his bare hands? The 2 little systems behind them laughed smugly. "You fool. This is the power of our system." Although a bit scared, 2 Rin still threatened with a stiff upper lip. "Give me back my magic treasure. I'm warning you. The Grand Elder of our Sunstar sect is at the peak of the Tribulation Transcendence realm. He is monitoring all movements. If I can't contact him, he will definitely kill all of you." Yifan was not afraid at all and said calmly, "Then contact him for me to see." Seeing this, 2 Rin timidly took out a green token and said smugly, "Just you wait, your day of death has come." Suddenly, the token shattered before his astonished eyes. An announcement voice sounded, "Hello, the other party has canceled the sound transmission jade slip. Please use another method of contact. Thank you." 2 Rin realized he had been sold out and roared in fury, "You damn old geezer. I served you for nearly 1,000 years, and you treat me like this." Qing Lan stepped forward, holding a scythe, and said impatiently, "Are you done talking? If you're done, then come be fertilizer for the flowers." 2 Rin screamed in despair, "No." Over here, in a certain space, the bankruptcy system was standing before a locked data file. She touched it and said, "Is this the information from Yifan's 99 previous lives? Damn it. Why is so much content locked?" The monitoring eye next to it issued a first warning. "Bankruptcy system, Viewing the transmigrator's information is prohibited. She provocatively said, even the great system doesn't dare to control me. What right do you have to control me? It issued a second warning. She paid it no mind and continued. All right, tell me the method to break it. It replied, upload consciousness into the void. Decryption will take about 4 minutes. The bankruptcy system heard this and complained. So troublesome. Uploading. Looking at the data being uploaded, she said softly, I'm finally in. There are so many files. Suddenly, a file caught her attention. The bankruptcy system reached out and touched it. Wait, what is this secret lock? 20% locked? Let's try to change it. A huge object suddenly appeared from behind. The monitoring eye ordered, kill it. Immediately, that strange object grabbed the bankruptcy system. Her body shattered in the creature's mouth. Sunlight shone through the window into the room. Yifan stretched and woke up. The sign-in system happily announced, ding, today's sign-in is successful. It handed him a rather large pill, then said in rapid succession, host, I helped you sign in today. The reward is a dragon origin pill, which can help you ascend from immortal to the tribulation transcendence realm, with a 5% chance of triggering a critical hit and breaking through to heavenly immortal. The chicken blood system next to it saw this and asked the system, confused, why are you doing these useless things? The host will use it eventually. It just smiled foolishly and said, it's just a routine procedure to let the host know what rewards there are. Maybe one day the host will see the light. Yifan suddenly spoke up, system, give me the dragon origin pill. The chicken blood system heard this and was extremely shocked. Huh? The sign-in system didn't hear clearly and quickly said, rejected again. Luckily, the item doesn't take up inventory space. But a few seconds later, it reacted, extremely shocked. Wait, what did the host say? He repeated, I agree to cultivate. This whole time, going against you all, it's really been hard on you. The sign-in system placed the dragon origin pill in his hand, asking doubtfully as it did so, host, you didn't hit your head on anything last night, did you? The chicken blood system turned to it and whispered, system, we didn't get the wrong host yesterday, did we? It heard this and said, how could we? Didn't the imposter already revert to his original form? The chicken blood system was still confused. Then why has the host's personality changed? But it didn't know either. How would I know? Yifan took the pill and immediately put it in his mouth. In an instant, a golden light carrying immense power appeared, enveloping his body. Super critical hit, 6th level of the heavenly immortal realm. The sign-in system saw this scene, completely stunned. Am I really not dreaming? The host is cultivating. The chicken blood system next to it comforted. System, your suffering has finally come to an end. In the main hall of the GYANI sect, GYANI sat on the sect master's throne and asked the elders, regarding the actions of the Sunstar sect, how should we retaliate? A male elder intended to stop her and said, retaliating like this is a bit inappropriate. After all, the other party has a peak tribulation transcendence realm expert. But the great elder immediately objected. Revenge is a must. We just don't know Yifan's strength. How about we just have the Sunstar sect compensate a little? Yuan also agreed with her words. Sect master, we've already dealt with their people. Why bother with all that? We should take everything. Yifan walked over from somewhere. He comforted his master. Master, don't worry about these things. I've already arranged everything for you. GYANI was surprised to hear him say that. It's settled? Precious disciple, what did you do? He answered seriously, calm and confident. I've asked Qinglan to go and kill all the cultivators and spirit beasts of the Sunstar sect. She should be back within an hour. It turned out that earlier, he had gone to ask Qinglan for help. Friend, I need you to do me a favor. GYANI was both shocked and worried. Huh? Precious disciple, do you know how many people a major sect like the Sunstar sect has? In their sect? The great elder also spoke up. A super sect, the number of people is equivalent to a country. GYANI sighed softly. That number of people is too terrifying. Yifan glanced at his master. Is this all the ambition you have? Then he crossed his arms and said seriously, Master, I still have a principle. When facing obstacles, one's heart must be ruthless enough. If you hesitate like this, you can't be a sect master. GYANI was very surprised to hear this. I can't be a good sect master. Suddenly realizing something, she exclaimed, that's not right. She waved her hand and said, precious disciple, if you do this, your Tao heart will suffer a backlash from your heart demon. He said nonchalantly, so what? It's not like I'm the one doing it personally. GYANI still firmly objected. Precious disciple, I don't agree.